So you're here because you want to improve your English pronunciation. I'm here because I just want to share what I know. Hi, I'm Rebecca. Today I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to improve your listening skills and how to better understand when native North American speakers are talking. If you've been speaking English long enough and been around native North American speakers long enough, you are definitely going to notice that sometimes we're not the easiest to listen to. When you're trying to understand the words we're saying, you might have realized that sometimes we drop sounds, sometimes we change words. We string the words together in a way that make it nearly impossible to understand what those individual words are. And so you kind of have to decode all of these little changes, and it makes listening to North American English speakers a little bit more difficult. So today, I'm here to teach you some tricks and give you some insight and give you something you can do today that will help you vastly improve your English understanding when listening to other people. So the first thing I want to mention, which I'm sure you already know, but in case you didn't, English spelling and things that you see written down in English are nothing like the spoken English that you hear from people every day in their conversations. So that's the first thing I want you to really wrap your head around. It's kind of like having to let go of all the rules you ever learned, and you spent a lot of time learning those rules, and then just throwing them in the garbage and starting from scratch. So that is partly why English pronunciation and spoken English is very frustrating for people, and it's understandable. So just embrace that little bit of frustration. Okay, that's just the truth of it. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to get your brain wrapped around the fact that any word that you think you know might be entirely different when it's spoken. Then we're going to have to delve into all of those specific details. And if you do click on another video I have, we'll be talking about just that. So I'll give you some examples of some of the things that we do in English that make it difficult to understand the words we're saying. One of the things that we do is called a reduction. That just means we're taking an actual word and we're reducing it into something entirely different. So I might have the word for, F-O-R. I'm going for a walk. And that word for will be reduced, typically, to fur. Think of F and R together, get rid of the vowel. Fur, 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 fur. So F to R, fur. You will typically hear fur instead of for. You may just not have noticed it. I'm going for a walk. I'm going for a walk. I'm going for a walk. Another example would be when we kind of conjoin words like want to or have to. We do reduce the word to ta. And we'll talk about that in another lesson. Keep watching my videos, that's what I'm trying to say. But basically, you might hear have to and want to as have to, have to, have to, have to. And wanna. So instead of I want to give you a call later, you might hear I want to give you a call later. Or I have to finish that report. I have to finish that report. So you'll see these reductions. And also you will see contractions. When you hear a word like I with will, you'll notice in speech, we'll say I'll. You will. You'll notice that I do this as well. So these types of contractions, it just means we're squishing two words, creating them into one new, crazy new thing. We do this in speech, in conversation all the time. So being aware of what the contractions are in English and the reductions in English are going to take you a long way in not only your pronunciation and speech, but also in your understanding of native North American English speakers. So instead of just pointing out all the reasons why this is a difficult thing to do, let's talk about what we actually can do, and we'll talk about some really specific tasks or practice that you can do today that will change your perception and your understanding of other people speaking in English, and it will also make an impact on your own speech. So let's talk about what those are. The first thing is called, it's kind of a fancy term, minimal pairs. Minimal pairs just means we're going to take two words in English, and it could be any language, but in English, and we're going to change one sound. And by changing that one sound, it will change the meaning of the word. So I could change the vowel in the word pill, and I could change the vowel to pull, or peel, or pile. I'm changing the vowel and that changes the word. So if we're going to do minimal pair work, we're going to practice changing one sound and hearing the difference, okay? So in another example of a minimal pair, and that kind of practice is comparing it, I-T, to eat. Eat, I'm going to eat, versus sit and seat. Comparing the I and the E vowels. Those are minimal pairs, and being able to hear the difference and kind of give your brain a chance to work around different sounds that maybe you're not used to paying attention to or have a lot of experience with is going to vastly change your pronunciation skills in English and your understanding of other native English speakers. And if you're wondering, where do I find a practice like this in minimal pairs, go to my YouTube channel. I will be posting lots and lots of practice for you guys so that you have everything you need to make some really incredible improvements. And one other tip I want to tell you, something you can do today that will change your understanding of English speakers and also your own pronunciation and speech, is to analyze speech. And I know a lot of people say, okay, just listen to speakers and you'll kind of pick it up. But just listening to a vast array of different things leaves you kind of confused and you're not entirely sure what even to listen for. So I'm going to help you with that so that you actually know what you're paying attention to, and you'll be able to dissect that and therefore use it and hear it in other people when you're talking to them. So what I want you to do is I want you to find a video clip. It could be anything, it could be a movie, find it on the internet and look for something with closed captions or with the dialogue written below so you can see what the person is saying. And I want you to do a couple things. I want you to choose just one sentence at a time. Don't listen to an entire conversation. Listen to one sentence and pause. And I want you to try to put the speed, if you look at that little gear, change the speed to really, really slow speed. So you want slow motion. And I want you to listen for 3 different things. The first thing I want you to listen to is just the music. I want you to listen to the sound, the highs and lows of that sentence. So if someone's saying, I'm gonna grab a coffee tomorrow, you wanna come with me? What I want you to do is just, there's no right or wrong. Draw a line on a piece of paper or on your phone, draw a line of the high and low that you hear in the music. So if the person said, do you wanna come with me? Draw the line going up and pay attention to the highs and lows. You can even do it to this video. Listen to this video over again. Listen to how I go high and low, and where do I go high? Where do I go low? Start to pay attention to that, because that's going to take you a long way. The second thing I want you to do is pay attention to how the words are all strung together. Notice that I'm not talking word by word, but I'm linking, that's another word or a phrase for this, linking the words together. So there are no pauses, there are no spaces between the words unless I physically pause for a breath or for meaning in between phrases. So all my words are strung together, pause. Unless I have to pause, pause. For either breathing, pause, or for some meaning in the context. Okay, so pay attention to the pausing of someone talking in a movie or a show or whatever you want to listen to. Even just this video, you can do that too. Although I will say in slow motion, I will probably be very embarrassed to hear my own voice. Well, we all sound like lunatics in slow motion, so that makes sense. But do it anyway, it's a very good exercise. Paying attention to how all the words are strung together and linked to each other. If you found any of this information useful, even a little bit so far, press that little mitten hand. I want that thumbs up. Please press that because I want to share this information with other people, and really only you can do that and be that good Samaritan to help share the information with people who are struggling just like you are. and I want to be able to help them too. So do that for me if you can. It would mean the world. The third thing I want you to pay attention to when you're listening to dialogue, listening to that sentence or a couple sentences of speech, is to listen to what's actually being said versus the words that are being said that are written for you in closed captioning. I want you to notice that words are not said exactly how they're written. For example, I said, I want you to notice. I didn't say, I want you to notice. I want you to notice. That's entirely different than the words. So I want you. I want you to write down how you heard it and do it in whatever way works for you. It could be ridiculous and sound hilarious when you read it out loud. Put in a D if you hear a D. If you hear a ch sound, write the ch and notice that it's very different. That's your step number one to kind of working past knowing what things are spelled like and written versus what speech is like. And if you don't separate that and you don't make that mental note and you don't identify what's different about this speech, then it becomes an overwhelming thing. So that's your first step. I want you to take that as homework today. Write down the music, drive the little lines up and down. There's no wrong, okay? No wrong answers. It's what you hear. You're going to listen to how it's blended and linked together and where are the pauses happening. And you're going to write down what you actually hear versus what the words are, even if there's closed captioning. Do that exercise. Do that every day for a week. And I promise you, your eyes will be opened, your ears will be opened. It's going to help you identify a lot of things we're going to talk about in this channel. Now, if you're looking for some additional information, of course, check out my YouTube channel. I will be posting lots and lots of similar information, but much more in-depth and good practice for you, so you can practice along. But if you want any other information about coaching, one-on-one coaching, I see clients daily and I work with them one-on-one. If that's something you're interested in, check out my website. My link is below. I've got a video course. I have a book that you can always check out on Amazon or an audiobook. I just want you to use whatever tools you need that will help you the most. And of course, in our next video, I want to teach you the next step. I would say probably the number one tip that you can do today that will help your pronunciation. If you're just looking for one thing to do from now on, check out this video. It's going to help you make some incredible English pronunciation improvements with just a single tactic, okay? So it's a trick and it will help so many of your English pronunciation issues all in one go. So I know there's no quick fix in English pronunciation and I know it's a journey, but if I were to say there was a quick fix, check this video because this really is a quick fix. Check it out and I'll see you there.